I'm Kora the Explorer, and welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to my channel. Hi everyone. How are we? I hope everybody's really doing well. It is, oh no, I got a crack in my watch. It is 1:25 right now on a beautiful Monday in February. Hey, so we're doing stuff a little bit different today. There won't be, I won't say there won't be because I really don't know, but I'd like to switch it up. Instead of doing the vlog this week, I wanted to go ahead and do something spectacular, different, do a book review. That's what it was. Sorry, all over the place. Welcome to my channel. So I don't know how long this is gonna be. I'm gonna try to be as concise as I possibly can with this because I want to like keep progressing through books. I have another book I want to review too, but I wanted you guys to see what I'm reading. So first and foremost, welcome to my channel, Kora the Explorer. Hope everybody's been well. I just wanted everyone to know I'm currently reading, currently reading the After series. I am on After We Fell. This is the digital copy, but I also have the physical book. So before we even get into that book, because I'm on book 3 out of 5 books. I don't even know if I'm gonna finish this series or if I ever care. Currently, I'm on page, oh shoot, I done lost my page. Hold on one second, hold on. Okay, so currently I'm on page like 200. I want to say I'm on, yeah, I'm on page 200. I want to say that I'm on like chapter like 40. I could be wrong. Chapter 30. Oh yeah, chapter 41. Okay, so bust it. I'm on chapter 41 of this book. I'm on page 200 out of a 5-book thing. I restarted this one technically. I was 500 pages in on this book, and then I restarted it because I forgot where I was at. But 3 books. Let me just give you the premise real quick of After the series itself. So bust it, right? Excuse me. So bust it. So there's a guy named Hardin. There's a girl named Tessa. Hardin is essentially a delinquent and a troublemaker. And Miss Tessa is very type A, top 10% of the class, always going to be successful kind of girl. Very particular, always have to have her planner. And then she meets this delinquent troublemaker that got a lot of insecurity and anger issues. And he's kind of a spoiled brat because his dad is the chancellor or the dean of this school, right? But the whole point is they collide and they have completely opposite goals and expectations out of life. Like he just want to, well, he wasn't drinking at the time, but he is known for drinking, partying, being a player, doing some very crude things. And she's known for just being in her studies, her books, all of that stuff. So I don't know how this happened. Oh, she had a roommate named Steph who ended up being a mutual friend of Hardin's, and then she was her roommate, so they end up being mutual friends. So she meets him at this party. He's rude. Mind you, this whole series, this man is rude as F. By the way, may or may not be some swearing in this. I'm sure it will because they fluster me. Just as a disclaimer. Anyway, he's pretty much rude as heck for no reason for this whole series. Even when he claims her as his woman, still rude to her, right? They meet at a party. She was like, she somehow found out he's an English major and he writes poems and he reads books and blah, 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 which is that's like her thing too, right? And so she loves books and blah, blah, blah. So that's how they connect. And then they end up trauma bonding at one point because they both got daddy issues and like, we'll get to that in a minute. But pretty much they meet at this party that Steph invited her to. And then like from there on, they just like cannot stop running into each other and meeting each other. And at first they were like, we shouldn't do this. We shouldn't do this. Because she had a boyfriend back home. Very clean cut, very nice, dapper young man. But I guess like very quickly she deuced out on him, and then she got with Hardin. I've read 3 books so far. I'm on the 3rd book. This is over a span of 6 months that all this stuff happens, which is wild. But I digress. Anyways, they meet, they collide, they start dating, they start kissing, all this stuff, right? Then they get to a point where they're like, they moved in together, mind you, during this whole 6 months. They started talking. He was like, I gotta stay away from you because I don't do girlfriends, blah, 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 blah. She convinces him otherwise. And then after that, they end up getting an apartment together. All this stuff is happening in the span of 6 months. She falling out with her mom because her mom's like, this is not what you need for your life. Her mom is very like, also type A and very high strung, and was like, you're gonna live this way because this is what you're meant to do. But like her and her mom got issues now. She don't speak with her mom. Her and her dad have not talked in years because her dad left, because her dad is an alcoholic, and he also is homeless, also potentially a drug addict. You know, all the things. But she don't even got a relationship with her mom now, so all she has is this man, right? Turns out she somehow went through his phone, found out this man has only been dating her because it's a bet. And the bet was, I bet you can't get her to get with you and have sex and everything, right? So then she found that out because he was deleting all his messages, but just one popped up. And it said like, oh, did you win the bet? Blah, 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 blah. She gets heartbroken, right? Heartbroken. That's book 1. All that stuff I just said, book 1. Book 2, with all due respect to Miss Todd, not my favorite book, kind of a waste of pages, with all due respect, because I love that woman. That's just my personal opinion, right? So, book 2, pretty much, she's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he hurt me like that. He did it for a bet, blah, 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 right? So, mind you, she says all this, she's hurt. He's like, no, it was like that, but it wasn't. And it's like, real. It was really real. And the bet was between him and his friend Zed, who they both had a thing for Tessa. But Zed was like, he actually likes her. And he's very sweet. But at the time, Hardin just wanted a game to conquer. But he ended up liking her too. But Hardin's absolutely toxic, right? So that's who the bet was between. The second book is all her just being like, oh, well, I should have known, blah, blah, blah. Her feelings are really hurt, but she still forgives him. She's like, we never really broke up like that. I'll take you back. Which is like, but fine. So they're all together. They're together in this second book. The whole book, she forgives him, all kinds of stuff. But she's still isolated with just him. Has no friends besides Hardin's stepbrother, which he absolutely hates for no reason. He's got anger issues. Anyway, yes, so she only got one good friend. The girl Steph, she feels 50-50 about. Only remarkable thing I will say that happened in the second book, because she already forgave him, they just stayed together, and she's like, it's gonna take a lot for me to trust you again, but she didn't. But then only remarkable thing, two remarkable things happened. She ended up getting, I don't know how this happened, but she ended up going back to a party, and I think it's because somebody told her that Hardin was gonna be there, and they were like a little rocky. They had just had a fight. Another thing, they just break up to make up every chance they get. Every chance, bro. But they have never fully officially broken up. They just like get in these tiffs, and then they just come back. Anywho, book 2, pretty much the only big things is she was like, they were in a breakup to make up state. She goes to this party because she's like, I heard Hardin's gonna be there. He wasn't there. It was a trap, girl. It was a trap. So, long story short, she got roofied at this party. Shock Adonia, right? What a shock. And so she gets roofied at this party, and okay, so this part is very, very like, oh my gosh, don't condone, not cool, but it's in the book. So Hardin's very known, like I said, for being a player and blah 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 blah. He's very well known for that. But he used to do this evil, vengeful, monstrous thing where he would find these girls, like he would be mad at some man, right? He'd be mad at somebody, and then he'd go find their sisters or somebody close to them, have sex with them, film it, and then send the video to that person he's mad at and be like, I got your girl, which is very, very sick. But he used to do that. So somebody who got hurt by that ended up roofing Tessa, who's the main girl, ended up roofing her, and they were trying to do the same thing and take advantage of her, and she was freaked the F out, understandably. Person came to her rescue was not Hardin, but was Zed. He was very good to her. He got her some clothes. He took her back to her house. He made sure she was Gucci. I personally like this man. My top tier people that I would have Tessa be with would be Zed, Trevor, and Landon, the stepbrother. Trevor is the guy she works with, okay? We find out about him in book 2 as well. She works at this publishing company called Vance Publishing Company. It's like it's a book reading company. She's pretty much got her dream job. That was because of Hardin, because he has connections, and his dad has connections because his dad is the chancellor of the college they go to. So that's how she got that. She's got an opportunity now to move to Seattle, right? She's got this opportunity to move to Seattle and get paid internship and go to school and live her dream, right? But we'll find in the 3rd book, when we get to it, is that Hardin's trying to stop her from doing all that because he's possessive and he's crazy and he's got mental problems. Okay? So, back to book 2. Her getting roofied, and then at the end of the 1st book, she found her dad after 10 years of him not being in her life, and him still being an aggressive alcoholic. She was on the streets, and she was walking with Hardin, and then her dad was like, Tessa? And then she was like, and it was on a cliffhanger. So she meets her dad again in book 3. So let's get into book 3, since we're here. We've made it 11 minutes. This book is a lot. I had to tell you those parts to get you into this book. So, blanket overall, I would say in book 3, so far, she just met her dad again. Her dad is back in her life. He is homeless. And he's on alcohol. He's alcoholic and he's homeless. And we suspect he does drugs. We don't know that part for certain, right? But her dad's back in her life out of nowhere. Her and her mom are on bad terms because she's still choosing Hardin over everyone in her life. The isolation is growing rapidly. It's giving dangerous. It's giving abuse, potentially. He hasn't put his hands on her yet, but he has like severe aggression issues. Like he be ripping down china cabinets. He beat the heck out of his younger brother Landon to a pulp, and his best friend Zed beat him to a pulp. There was charges on him. This man's got an aggression issue. So let's just say that. He's got mad aggression issues, but he's also painfully insecure, which is like ick. Also, I don't know. I just feel like he just be going through it in his own mind, and he just does not know how to be healthy. But his problem is that he's trying to trap and isolate Tessa to be by herself. That part's not cool. She wants to go to Seattle, and he's been doing everything in his power to prevent that, right? So that's where we're at right now. She's met her dad again. Her and her mom are on rocky terms. She has no friends, and she's trying to move to Seattle with the publishing company. Now, let me find you just a few of my favorite quotes from this book of him. I like to highlight all the like abusive tone or like isolation tones and the crazy stuff he says to this girl. So come with me for a second, shall ye? Okay, I'm back. I've got a few things here. So, first and foremost, before we get to that part, she's got the isolation. She's got everything going on. She's trying to move to Seattle. She's at the point where she's about to move to Seattle on Monday, where we're at in this story, right? She's moving to Seattle on Monday. This man's been trying to convince her she'll change her mind, blah, 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 blah. She's like, no, I'm going. He was like, nah, you'll change your mind. You still have time to think about it, right? So before she leaves for this trip, she was supposed to meet his family. His family is sweet as pie. He's got his dad, he's got his stepmom Karen, and he's got his stepbrother Landon. Karen and Landon are so sweet. He destroyed Karen's china cabinet and destroyed everything in the house. Still didn't yell at him. She's sweet as pie, right? And so everybody's trying to like convince him, because his dad used to also be an alcoholic. Everyone's trying to convince him otherwise. That like, not convince him otherwise. They're just trying to like be like, hey bro, that was in the past. I'm trying to be new. I'm trying to be there for you now. I'm so sorry. But he just hold on to the past like heavy. Even like, okay, so his mom and dad were together. His dad was a severe alcoholic. Then his dad ended up leaving them. But him and the mom had decided mutually that they were divorcing. But there was this flashback where his mom got assaulted, I think by some random drunk people, because the dad left the door open, something like that. And he's like, I just can't get rid of that image in my mind. But his mom has moved on from that. His mom is happy. His mom is thriving. His mom has a new man that she's about to marry. His dad has moved on too. He has a wife, kids, and a whole life. His mom is always telling him, don't be mad at your dad. He didn't do anything. Like, I've forgiven him, so you need to too. He's just bitter and got a grudge, right? So his dad's super nice, super sweet. His family's super sweet, and they love Tessa, his girlfriend, right? And so, long story short, they love her around. They always try to like help her get a leg up when it comes to school. They're the ones who help orchestrate that internship for her, so now that she gets to move to Seattle, have a paid internship, and still go to school, and blah blah blah, right? So they're so nice. They were like, hey Tessa, before you leave, we want to spend some time with you. We've got a lake house, so we want to go up to the lake house, you, me, Hardin, Landon, everybody, right? And we want to take you on the boat, blah, 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 blah. Everything's going to be paid for. We just need you to show up. So she's like, oh my gosh, I would love to. I love your family. They're so welcoming. They're so sweet. She says yes. So right now, they are in this cabin. And it's not a little cabin. They're rich. So it's like a big ass cabin, right? And so they're in this cabin. They were having a good time. Mind you, this thirst-hungry mongrel only want to hunch every chance he gets, right? She's got priorities in life. And so he's always just like, let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it on the floor. Let's get it, right? And so she's like, bro, nah, right? So they have a jacuzzi in their room. Sorry. I don't know why it came out like that. They have a jacuzzi in the room. And so, pretty much, they got a jacuzzi, and she's like, nah, I don't want to get in there. What if your parents come back? And he's like, I feel like you like that. Like, that's your kink, that you want to be found. And she was like, bro, no. Goofy, right? So she keeps telling him no, don't want to be in the jacuzzi, right? But he said, I wish I was joking. I've highlighted all of this. And so he says, because she said, I'll come up there, but I'm not getting in. And he was like, suit yourself. But then he said, I know she'll end up in there. She'll just need a little more persuading than most girls. That's just a creep alert, okay? That's all I wanted to let everybody know. It's a creep alert. So then somehow she ends up getting in the pool with him. In the jacuzzi with him. And so they're having a good time. It's starting to get sexy. The sexy time is on. They usually use condoms because protection. Duh. But this man is like, they're having a good time. He's like, wait, I forgot the condom. And she's like, okay, go get one. And he's like, you're not worried? You're not worried about me not having a condom? She's like, no, just put one on, bro. It's not that deep. And so he said, this is his words. Is that your plan or something? If I get you pregnant, you think I'll go with you? Are you dumb? Are you stupid? Are you both? Because you could be. Like, wait. This whole time he's accusing her like, hey, I feel like you want me to get you pregnant, so I have to go with you. Which is not logical. Why would she want to mess up her own life and yours? First of all, why would she mess up her plans to go to Seattle for you? Dumb. So she was like, you can't be serious, bro. And then she was like, that's crazy. And he was like, I'm serious. And I was like, rude ass, right? So then she's like all hurt and upset, goes in the bathroom, right? This man's like, then he says, this isn't some random crazy bitch. This is Tessa. Random crazy bitch. He's just not built right in the mind, you know? I think he discards a lot of women, but this is the first woman in his life he hasn't discarded like me. But still, like, I don't know. Anyway, he said, I've done everything I possibly can except lock her in the apartment. Sure, an idea actually crossed my mind a few times, but I don't think she would like that too much. I don't think so, babe. I don't think so. I don't think she would, you know? And so then she's mad. She's upset. She's in the shower. So she's like, okay, I have to leave. She's like, I have to leave and like go take a shower because that really hurt her feelings. So she wanted to go cry. So she's in the shower, but then she's like, left my toiletry bag. I need him to get it. So she's calling from out the bathroom. She's like, Hardin. And he's not answering her. So she goes out there in her towel. She's looking for him. This man's on the balcony on the phone talking to someone, right? She's like, that voice is hella familiar, right? And so this clown, let me just cut to the chase. This clown got her real estate agent to drop out of the race on her. She has no place to stay. She has no apartment. She's been waiting on this woman to call her back. And this man foiled her plans. This man called her real estate agent Don't know how he got her number. Probably snuck through her phone. Called the real estate agent and was like, hey, bro, she ain't good. She trashed places and blah, 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 blah. So now he feels bad after he said all that, I guess. And he calls her and he's like, well, she's not. Because the real estate lady said, you gave me the impression that she's not somebody that I should, you know, be giving an apartment to. And he's like, I lied. I made her out better than she should have been, blah, 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 right? So then she busts in the room and is like, what the hell? And he's like, oh my God, like, what are you doing? He drops the phone and shit. The lady's like, hey, are you still there? He's like, he pretty much is like, I'm scared. I don't know what to do. Like, I didn't know she was gonna catch me. Why was she listening? And he pretty much is like, it's your fault. You should have been listening in type shit. And she's like, bro, seriously? Seriously? So she's at the brink right now. She said, you listen to me, Harden. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of you trying to sabotage everything in my life that doesn't revolve around you. And I'm like, period, sis. And then she's like, man. He's like, no, you don't understand. She's like, shut up. And I was like, that's crazy. And so pretty much they're fighting. She said, she said, I can deal with like you treat me like an asshole, I can understand you like being distant, your insecurity, your overprotection, all of that. But you're trying to sabotage my future. And I won't fucking have that. And I said, that is crazy. So pretty much she's going off on him at this point, right? And then she's at the end of the night, she's mad because she's like, bro, what are you doing? I'm really pissed with you. She made him leave the cabin. He's like, where am I? He said, no, I'm not leaving. She said, no, get the hell out. And so he was like, oh, I'm scared. Oh, scary. So at that point, he leaves. He doesn't know where to go, but he leaves out of the house. She's talking about no tears, only regrets. That's so sad. He didn't know where the heck to go. This man said, I know it's fucked up. Well, she said, let me start over. He said, I know it's fucked up for me to mess with her apartment in Seattle, but I'm grasping at straws here, trying to get her not to leave me. You sound like an abuser. A little bit. And then he was just talking about how he's confused by her behavior. She doesn't usually act like this because, you know, he usually tries to control her. And then she was like, I don't know. She was just upset. She didn't want to talk to him. He went out, took a walk, ended up finding, because his parents and his brother were gone this whole time, meeting up with a family friend. And so they finally came back and he left. He ends up running into the family friend's daughter, but he didn't know that they were friends or related or whatever. And so he ends up running into her. They have a whole talk at her house. They're at her cabin with her parents, and her parents are upstairs. He's out here drinking liquor and brandy. Tessa don't like when he drink because he turned into this mean, angry person, right? He be real angry, and he be getting violent. Sometimes he's violent. Sometimes he's like just mean. Not like that's any better. But sometimes he's really violent, and then sometimes he just like is just mean and hurtful for no reason. So she was like, I don't like when you drink, but he keep drinking anyway. He's like, I don't know what else to do. So he gets drunk, goes to this girl's house. Now, her name is Lillian. Tessa does not know that Lillian is gay. He knows that when he gets to know her and talk to her that night. Tessa does not know that. So he comes home, and he's like, because they were like, oh, he's with Lillian. That's what Hardin's father said, because they were looking for him because it was late out. And they're like, he's with Lillian. And she's like, oh. So she don't know she's gay. He hasn't told her yet. And at one point, he's like, I'm not gonna tell her. And I was like, why? You just want to make her mad for no reason. Anyway, she's in the room seething, sad. She's not even crying because she's like, there's nothing to cry about. I just feel so numb. I'm tired of him. Then he comes back, liquor on the breath. She's like, where were you? You were out with some girls 1:30 in the morning and you got liquor on your breath. And he was like, she's just a friend. It's not even like that, blah, 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 right? Mind you, this man also has somebody's phone number from the second book. He went out drinking with her alcoholic father. Not a good move when they had met him because she had let him stay for a few days. And so he was out drinking with him and she didn't like that either. But he just keeps going out and drinking. And he found somebody and the girl just gave him her number. And he changed her name to a man's name in her phone because he was like, I know Tessa's going to go snooping through my phone again. She wouldn't have to do that if she could trust you. Fast forward back to now. I said all that to say he been fucking up a lot. Right? And so pretty much he comes home and he's got liquor on his breath. She's really upset. And then she's like, you know what? She's like, I'm so good. I'm so done on this, right? He's been out with her all day. He comes back home. Or, no, he was out with her all night. He came back home. Tessa was just pretty much emotionless. I'm like, I'm going to bed. I don't want to deal with this. And so, that's where we're... Well, hold on one second. I got more. Okay, so, after they went to sleep, she's lacking emotion and everything. And she wakes up in the morning. She gets out of the bed. And because she was just like, I just want to go to bed. I don't want to fight with you about you being out with a girl. I don't want to fight with you being drunk. I'm just going to bed and I'm over this. I'm done, right? So she goes to sleep. She wakes up. She, I don't know who she's calling. I can't remember off the top of my head. But, oh no. So she's looking at more apartments because she's like, he messed up my apartment. Got to find a new one. Then she ends up calling her mom, who she hasn't talked to in months. And then she's like, hey, girl, you good? And her mom was like, I'm good. Are you good? Right? And so then she was like, I mean, yeah. And then she was just her mom was just telling her about how she misses her. And she knows that they're not on the best terms, but she's glad she called, essentially. And then her ex-boyfriend, who she was with from like childhood up until she turned 18, and then she met Hardin and was like, deuces. Her ex-boyfriend Noah, his grandma died, and he's really, really, really close with his grandma. And then she was like, yeah, maybe you should call him. That's what her mom said. And then she was like, yeah, I'll call him. And she was like, you will? And she was like, yeah, I'll call him. Because in her mind, because again, Hardin is jealous, he's angry, he's insecure, he's got a lot of issues, right? He's not just toxic. I'm starting to think he's just like mentally unstable. That's what's keeping me reading this, because this is beyond toxicity at some point, that you're like jeopardizing someone's apartment. But she was like, okay, I'm gonna call him, because she was like, he can't tell me who to call and who not to call. And he was like, even though he was like, don't call them, I don't want you calling this person, you're not hanging out with this person anymore. Strange. But she said she's gonna call Noah, right? The mom's like, oh, okay. And so then I think she ended up getting off the phone with her mom. And then okay, so she ended up getting off the phone with her mom. And then Hardin's back there eavesdropping. He was like, who are you gonna call? You're gonna call who? And she was like, Noah. And he was like, no, you're not. And she was like, who are you gonna tell me who I can call and I'm not? You don't pay this phone bill, right? And so then he was like, oh, well, you're just not gonna call him, blah, 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 blah. And she was like, you're not gonna tell me what to do. And you was the one out with a girl at 1:30 in the morning. You're not gonna tell me what to do. They get into a big fight about it. Then he's like, I don't need this shit. So then he leaves, and then he goes to a coffee shop after they've gotten into a big scuffle about it, right? So he's at a coffee shop. He's complaining about everything like he always does. He's like more than a grumpy cat at this point. And so he was like, this coffee shit. But he still drinks the whole thing. Runs into that girl Lillian again. They're talking about her girlfriend, her current girlfriend Riley. He's talking about his Tessa troubles, because that's how they met and start talking about it at first. When he first like ran into her, they started talking about his Tessa problems, even though he didn't want to. And then now they're talking about it again at this coffee shop, because she just ran into him again. So they've been talking all day. They ended up going dress shopping for her, because both their families are about to have this big, like, nice fancy dinner, since they're all in town. And so he said, I'm not going. And Tessa was like, you should go. And he's like, I'm not going. But he's out here dress shopping with Lillian. It's crazy. So she can get a dress. And he did tell her he's not going either, but he's going to end up going, I'm sure. He's been out with this girl till 5 p.m. Dog. Mind you, they had this argument at 7 a.m. and this man has been gone. Literally been gone since 7, and he's gone till 5. I would be worried for my man. That's just me. Okay, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. So what happened was, they got into this big scuffle. They're talking about, that's your ex, and she's like, you hang out and talk to all your people, whoever you want to, right? So then she gets mad, and then she was like, she got really mad at him, to the point that I don't know what he started spewing venom. That's what happened. He started being like, you're just an entitled, spoiled little brat. And so she went up and with the she was going for the right? But then he was like, and she was like, ooh, I'm mad. So she was trying to slap him, and he grabbed her wrist and was like, just don't. And I was like, ugh, bro, you are creepy. And so pretty much they have this big kerfuffle, this big argument, and then she's like, you know what, I don't even want you to come to Seattle with me anymore. She was begging him. He wouldn't bring it up, wouldn't bring the topic. She was like, I don't want you to come anymore. This man is mad. He's like, who does she think she is that she uninvited me and blah 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 blah. Which in my mind I would think the logic would be I'm gonna show up anyway, but he was just like, you can't uninvite me and blah 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 blah. So he gets mad, and then he met Lillian at the coffee shop. They spent the whole day from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. just talking about nothing. We're talking about Riley, who is her Lillian's girl, and then talking about Tessa, but they were going in circles because he's just so stubborn and refuses. But essentially after that, that's pretty much where I stopped. They went to the dress store. She's trying on dresses, even though he's not with her. You should be with your girl buying dresses. But what do I know? Anyway, that's where I stopped. I'm pretty much on page, like, I think I'm almost at 200. In the physical book, it says I'm at page 200, but on the digital book, it says I'm on, like, page 170. Let's see. 179 or 180. So, yeah, that's where I've stopped right now. I'm also reading this book, Cowboy Bebop. I'm almost done with this one. I'm thinking about doing a separate review. This just took a lot out of me. That pretty much was 3 books in one for this video. I may update you on the book. We'll see. If you want, please like and comment. Please let me know if you want me to continue on this. If not, I'll leave it right here. I'm cool with that. I'm also reading this book, and I'm also reading this book. I'm reading all these books like simultaneously. I'm almost done with this one, and then I'm halfway through this one. Both very good books, but yeah, I'll give you reviews on those if you want. But that's all I got for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope it wasn't boring for you. It wasn't boring for me. It was just a lot of information. So I really hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, blah, 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 if you want to. I'm about to say something so crazy. Oh, I'm not your headmaster. I'm not your headmaster. Do what you want. I love you, Missy. Bye.